So you were talking about having a disagreement with your dad about wanting to achieve maximum growth and scale. And he was quite the opposite of that. Where did those ideas come from? How were you inspired that that was even a possibility?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know what? I looked for people around me. You know, I have many mentors in my life. My dad being the first one, right? But I looked I would pave a driveway for somebody that was very successful, and I realized that they scaled something that served a purpose better than anybody else in their industry. So I would see this. I would see scaling of businesses of people I'd do a driveway for. I'd pave a driveway for a person with a beautiful house and on a lake and they drove nice cars and I knew they were doing good things in business, so I'd ask them what the heck they did, and often they would tell me, mind your own business, kid. But then sometimes they would say, let me tell you about what I did. Let me tell you what I do for a living and how I'm able to afford these things. And most cases, those people were people that started something from nothing, that busted their butt, and in busting their butt, they had stories to tell me that were really cool stories and how they scaled something and the cool things they do in their business and how passionate they are about them, right? So I would hear these stories more often than anybody else probably my age, and because I'd always ask the questions, how'd you do it, right? So I saw these stories of scaling and success, and I wasn't seeing that my dad. I mean, although as we grew pretty well and everything, and we're pretty successful in making profit, I didn't see the ability to really scale like the stories I liked. And so I guess that's, it was different mentors as a young guy, besides my dad, that I would ask, how they did it. And then I would sponge off him, call him once in a while if I liked him. And I've got mentors all the way back since, I was 18, 19, 20 years old, that some of which I'm still friends with today. And I continued that trend the rest of my life. Even today, I look to reach to the best minds in the world at anything I want to do. Any business we're in, we reach out and try to find the best minds in the world in the space that we're trying to make a buck in, right? So any business we have, we can talk about that, but it's pretty easy today compared to what it used to be to reach for the stars when it comes to reaching the best minds in the world in any industry that we want to be great at, right? So does that answer your question or no?
Yeah, that's awesome. So your passion for driveways led you to discover these folks that they inspired you about scaling and growth, and you asked them, hey, how are you doing so well? Mm-hmm. And then you're like, cool, I'm going to do that too.
Well, and very often in a different way, right? Because most of these people weren't paving people, right? Most of these people didn't pave driveways or parking